Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening. Welcome again to our webinar series from the Axia Agency. Since the start of COVID, we have really been wanting to contribute to the community and sharing with business owners, brand owners, all of you who are looking to transition different areas of your life. We know that many people are moving into new jobs, into new careers, or looking at starting different types of businesses and looking at multiple sources of revenue. So in order to assist you on this journey, what we decided to do is to share some tips and tools to the trade that we have been advising our own clients. Some of these are business related, like marketing, sales related webinars, very practical technical skills. And some of these are more self-development skills, things that will help you to manage the day-to-day stresses of starting a business or transitioning to a new career. Today, we are so excited to be sharing with you some information about consciousness and intuition. So today's webinar is called Tapping into the Currency of Consciousness, Tapping into Intuition. I'm so glad and so happy that my dear friend Danielle Batley is here to share some of her knowledge and her expertise on some of these more spiritual and self-development tips that we're going to be learning. So this is the agenda for today. We're going to be learning about, the spiritual side, why we need to learn to tap into our intuition. What is intuition? How do we recognize if it's intuition or something else? And how intuition can really help in your personal relationships, in your business, and also in your life. The reason we decided to initiate this webinar is because I find that for probably the past 12 years now, I have been using my intuition and really going into my inner self to help me to make these very important decisions every day. So sometimes these decisions might be, do I choose A or do I choose B? Do I live in this place or do I live in that place? For our family, we use the same decisions. Do we go to this school or do we go to that school? Even for your personal relationships and clients that you may be serving, the intuition is critical in all sorts of decision making. So today we're going to be learning about some different tips of how do you use that intuition to make better, more positive decisions that you're really confident about and that will be really good for your life and really good for your business. And it is a practical business skill. Companies from Google to Nike to Salesforce.com, billion-dollar companies use this, I would call it a secret weapon. Secret power, if you would, of intuition. Did you know that in places like Google, meditation classes are one of the classes which are almost always sold out all the time. They're always fully booked. So a lot of elite performers, elite athletes, they already know this information. So today we're going to share 2 or 3 tools to enable you to start using your intuition more in your day-to-day lives. With that, I'm going to pass it over to the lovely Danielle Batley. She's going to introduce herself and then share a little bit more about breath work, her own journey, and so on. And you may want to take some notes along for all of our guests today. You may want to take some notes because one of the critical aspects of tapping into intuition and really being able to calm the mind and listen to your inner voice, it really starts with the breath, learning how to breathe properly. So many of us with our busy lives in the city, we tend to have very shallow breathing. And one of the best things that I know Danielle is great at teaching is really how to breathe. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Danielle. Thank you.
Namaste. Good evening, Margaret. Good evening to those in North America. Good afternoon and good morning to wherever you are in the world today. Thank you for joining us. So my spiritual journey began around 4 years ago with the breakup of a relationship. And I realize now that this is called a soul squeeze. Many people experience soul squeezes in terms of a job loss, a relationship breakdown, a death of a beloved in their family, our friends. So anything that causes us to feel makes us question life, really. You know, what more is there? What is this? What can I do to feel better? Because this pain is just horrendous. What I realized was, through exploration of my inner world, is that it wasn't actually the relationship breakdown that my pain was coming from. The pain started many, many, many years before then, even going back to birth. But of course, this has all evolved since my spiritual journey began. So after the breakup of my relationship in January 2017, I decided to take myself to Bali, where I discovered breathwork for the first time. And I was completely green to this. I had no idea what it was. I went by myself to this breathwork ceremony, and I felt quite self-conscious. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anybody there. And me was just sat opposite a lady, and she was crying and I was crying, but I didn't really know why I was in my old relationship. And then we went into breathwork, and there was just this sadness, the surface level sadness at this point, because obviously there are many, many depths to sadness, to hurt, to anger, to pain. While there, I also experienced a quantum healing session with a gentleman called Dean Powell, who is incredibly powerful and can highly recommend if you're ever in Bali. And then very shortly after, so this was Easter time, I went to Bali, and then I was guided by my intuition to Peru, where I worked with the indigenous people of the Amazon rainforest with some plant medicine. And, you know, some people have quite a negative outlook on them. Some people have a very positive outlook on them. For me, it was absolutely life-changing, and I've continued to work with them ever since then on an annual basis. But, you know, it's not always very practical to go off to the Amazon rainforest, and breath work is something that we use the air as plant medicine. So with ayahuasca, this releases a huge amount of DMT in the brain, dimethyltryptamine, which some of you, again, may have heard of. But breath work actually also enables us to activate this chemical in our brain, which takes us to higher states of consciousness, so we can tap into our intuition and be guided by our own inner knowing and inner knowledge. So, you know, this is not knowledge that comes from books. Really and ground the practices when I came back from Peru. I'll just show you this one because this has been incredibly powerful for me. This is called The Presence Process by Michael Brown. And this is really a practical guide into how to integrate any learnings that you gain from spiritual practices. I have a few others here that we can perhaps come on to later. So after I came back from Peru, I started my daily meditation practice. And at the beginning, it was not necessarily consistent. And I found when I would go to my meditation center, the Samadhi Center in Hong Kong, I would go every Saturday. But then on the occasion that I didn't go, I would find that my weeks didn't go quite so fluidly, and quite the opposite in some cases. And I would be in states of anxiousness and stress. So when I meditated, there was a definite correlation with my for
there's a little bit of a time lag, isn't there? Can somebody nod if you find it's the same problem? Yes, okay. So Danielle, there's a little bit of a breakup. I'm wondering if we can kind of go in and out between video and no video. It might help to improve the quality of the sound, because you're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, I can come off my video. Bear with me.
And then we can sort of pop in and out of the video. It would help the quality of the sound. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. This is a little tricky though, because the first practice that we're going to do is consciously connected breathing with eye contact. So perhaps I can explain it first and then I will turn the video back on. So with the breath of bliss, which is the breathwork modality in which I'm trained, we focus on movement, the breath, and sounding. So in order to connect as one whole, we will gaze upon another being, usually in a circle, and take 3 or 6 deep breaths. So I would like us all to take 6 deep breaths in and out of the mouth. So this is the main difference between consciously connected breathwork and pranayama. So pranayama is often through the nose. Consciously connected breathwork is always through an open mouth. And rather having a pause or any retention, we miss out the pause. So it's an inhale that kisses the exhale kisses the inhale. And so if you imagine a circular motion, in, out. So the first thing we're going to do, because most of us breathe very shallowly, we're going to breathe deep down into our lungs and connect our energies. So we're going to breathe in for 5 and out for 5. So it's going to be a deep inhale and a slow, long exhale. So you can put your hands on your heart, because it's all about connecting to the heart and getting out of this mind that keeps us far too busy. Okay, we'll begin now. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open the mouth now. 5, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. And for some people, that 1 minute may have seemed like a very long time, because how often do we actually take the time to just breathe? It's such a simple technique. With our thoughts and our actions and our doing and our, we're so busy. We just need to be still and to breathe. And, I'm not negating how productive we humans can be. We are quite incredible. But for the magic to take place, we have to be still and we have to focus on the breath, focus on the heart, and get out of the mind. The next practice we're doing in Breath of Bliss is intention. So you don't work ceremony. I'm going to turn my video off so you can hear me clearly. The next practice we do in the Breath of Bliss ceremonies is intention. And this is something you can use every single day to direct your life, because where your attention goes, energy flows. So goes the saying. So when you wake up in the morning, what I do, I don't leave my bedroom before I have done a 20-minute meditation. So it doesn't need to be, a whole hour, although, this is the optimum. But if you're not going to do it, oh, have I lost you? We're there. Sorry, I think I dropped out then. Yeah, far better you practice for 20 minutes each morning than an hour once a week. So consistency of practice is super important. So where would you like your intention to go for the day? You can put your hand on your heart and make it a heartfelt intention. What do you need today in order to have a great day? So perhaps you can ask things like, what is it my heart truly desires? What is it I really need today? So just connect with your own self, because you know better than anybody what you need. And this comes from the heart, not the mind. And then we usually will go into some movement, because energies get stuck in the body. Like we can get stuck in our mind and we can loop. We keep a state of contraction in the body. So a great way to raise our vibration, which we'll be talking about later, is to move the body. So put on some music that makes your heart sing. And, you know, you can do some shaking, you can articulate your joints, but just move, do what makes you happy. And we will also come on to talking about mantras later, but often what I will use in the morning is music that makes me happy, makes me joyful, such as soundtracks from musicals. So, you know, spirituality and raising your vibration doesn't have to be all about chanting and, you know, these more, what people might call more serious practices, but just put on anything that makes your heart sing. Do what makes your heart sing. Don't do things out of guilt or obligation. Do it out of love. And this is going to make the difference to your life. And then we'll go into a 1 hour breath practice, which is something we can do online later if you'd like to sign up. And then, of course, we share our journey, but there are, you know, many elements to this practice. So we tend to call upon the spirits with crystals, with intention, with, I have some sacred objects here. So here, oh, I haven't got my video on. Let me put my video on. So I like to call upon Guan Yin, and she is the goddess of love and compassion. And if we can make any real life-changing approaches in our life, it's to act with love and compassion to ourselves first and foremost, because I am certainly guilty of giving to others when I so don't forget that.
Sorry, Danielle. We
we
just lost you for a minute. I am guilty of giving to others, and then we lost you for a few minutes.
Sorry, I'll turn off my video again. So in the past, I was guilty, before I started my spiritual adventure, as you might call it, I was guilty of giving to others while myself not being, I wasn't loving myself. Basically, I was giving away and I wasn't filling up my own cup. And of course, this leads to exhaustion, dissatisfaction, and a deep unfulfillment inside. So make yourself your priority, because you are your priority. So my second goddess here is the Hindu, and she is the goddess of, most of us think of abundance, I certainly do, about financial abundance, and she does signify financial abundance, but also abundance of love, abundance of kindness, abundance of all kinds, time, space, freedom, whatever it is you want to call in, you can use Lakshmi to help you call in those things. Okay, do you have any questions, Margaret?
So one question with regards to the breath work is, because it's such a critical part of stilling the mind, is there any tips that you have for getting into a regular practice of breathing, especially when people are living such busy lives, you know, so you know, waking up early in the morning, working late into the night, you know, there's work commitments, there's family commitments, social commitments, and the pace of life is just getting faster and faster and faster. Do you have any tips on how to get started on a regular breath work practice? What can we do?
So I think what is best for me to do is to start facilitating online. It's not something you can necessarily do by yourself at first. You do need a facilitator to help guide you. And it's unlike pranayama, we focus on releasing emotions. So we activate and release through the breath. So it's not about calming the nervous system, but about activating the nervous system. I would say if you can cultivate a monthly practice to begin, this is good because the breathwork modality is incredibly powerful. And sometimes I know that things can surface in people and they perhaps need some time to integrate what has arisen in those breathwork journeys. As you get further on down the line, you can perhaps cultivate a bi-weekly practice and then later on a weekly practice. I have done daily practices during my training, and it brings up a lot. So if you want to go fast, you breathe deep, and you breathe regularly. So it really depends on the individual and how fast they want to go, and what time is available for them. If they can make a monthly commitment, then this is the best start for anybody.
And Danny, how can we find out more about the courses that you're teaching so that we could practice the breathing and sort of the calming of the mind? How do we reach you?
I'm on Facebook at Breath of Bliss with Danny B, just the initial B, DANIB. Also on Instagram with Breath of Bliss with Danny B. You can follow me on the music. I've forgotten the name of the music app.
Headspace?
Not iTunes. No.
Spotify?
Spotify, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Spotify and you can listen to the tracks that I will use in breathwork journeys to help you once you've cultivated a practice with my facilitation, help and direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just a quick question here also from me about, you said something about really calming the mind through breath work and being able to notice people or situations around you, maybe even unsafe situations or what we could say, negative energy. I've also noticed personally in my life that I've been able to sense this in certain situations as well. Even knowing, when we're working with certain clients in business, which clients would be good for the agency and which clients would be really a very difficult situation, even though the contract may be a very large sum. I do listen to the intuition, and we call it, I guess, bad vibes or bad energy. Could you talk a little bit about that and how that works? Just the energy triangle from the highest vibration to the lowest vibration. I think this will be very interesting for people to know. Can you nod your heads or shake your heads if you understand about negative energy and more positive energy?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, this is important. Okay, so thanks for sharing, Danielle, this part. Yeah.
So obviously we are all electrochemical beings and we emit a vibration. So I myself as a person, I'm speaking all from experience here, so not so much theory, but very much a practical space. I noticed on the days that I haven't done my meditation, I will attract not so positive interactions, let's say, where, running around Hong Kong, for example, is very busy and you run into people and your day just doesn't flow so well. So when you don't make yourself a priority in the mornings to love yourself, essentially, you will not be in such a high vibration as if you have taken that time to, show yourself your inner self, your inner child, everything that lives within you. If you have not made yourself a priority, you will not attract the best energy, the best clients for your evolution. However, on the flip side of that, if you are more sensitive, you will notice, perhaps you are calling in clients with what you might deem a negative energy. And they, like every person in your life, is there to serve you. So they are a mirror, a reflection. So whatever you witness in others lives inside of you. So when you engage with a person or a company, you can ask the question, what is it they are trying to teach me? What is it I am not listening to within myself that they are showing me? So it all comes back to you. It is not about what's on the outside. They are just reflecting where you do further work. Does that make sense, Margaret?
That's fantastic. Does anyone have any other questions about the breath work and really just quieting the mind? This part is actually very important because this is where your gold is. This is where your treasure is. If you're able to learn how to control your breath and sort of regulate your breath, calm your mind and calm your soul, you're really going to be able to get a lot of treasure and being able to make very good, solid decisions.
I'd just like to add to that. So these are figures that you may have heard as well. Our conscious mind accounts for 5% of our power, and our subconscious mind accounts for 95% of our power. So no matter what the conscious mind says, my life, if your subconscious mind and your heart is not aligned, sorry, I'm just going to turn my video off so it's unstable again. If your subconscious mind is not aligned with that, you will not be able to call in what you are consciously calling in. You have to do the inner work. And then when your subconscious mind is aligned with your conscious thoughts, then you'll be able to call in much greater things.
Any other questions here from the chat? I'm just trying to see here. Any questions from the chat here, Sean? Or can we move on?
No, nothing's come through, Margaret.
Nothing right now.
Nope.
Okay. So Danielle, I know that right now a lot of people are going through very difficult and unprecedented times through COVID. You know, some very serious decisions need to be made. You know, do I proceed this way? Do I proceed that way? Do we move home to our home country? Do we stay where we are? Or even just, you know, total surrender, like what do I do in this situation, which seems to have no end? If someone is seeking a certain particular decision or outcome, what type of advice would you give to them when there really seems to be nothing available? What would you suggest for that?
So I think you always have to ask yourself, where are you coming from? Are you coming from fear or are you coming from love? And of course, there is a lot of fear in the world right now. And these two energies are coming together. We're in a missionary period right now. And we have to have chaos in order to break down the old, to bring in the new. So, I mean, my teacher always says, rejoice, because when things are tough, this is a perfect ground for transformation. So, you know, of course, when people don't practice, there is this tension, like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? I'm in so much fear. Is my job going to be safe? Is my family going to be safe? Which is, you know, a fear vibration. So if you put out a fear vibration, guess what comes back? More fear vibrations. So you have to elevate your own state in order to make a decision from a place where, an aligned space, basically. So I have a really good I made a decision a little while ago to study, I'm going to turn off my video again so you get it all clearly. I made a decision to study psychology and neuroscience, and I found the process quite laborious, quite painful, and long-winded. And in my breathwork journey, what insight came to me was, why are you wasting your time with this? This is not who you are. And on reflection, I realized I made that decision in fear. I made that decision to prove to parents in Hong Kong that I was good enough to do my job as a conscious educator. So, I didn't make that decision in love. I didn't feel myself worthy. I didn't feel myself good enough to do that job and, get paid X amount of dollars. And so, breathwork really helps you see through these illusions of why you are doing things. Are you doing it to prove something? Are you doing it because you feel guilty? What is the underlying feeling as to why you are doing what you're doing? So you really have to take a deep look inside yourself and be honest. And then you can make heartfelt decisions that are more aligned with your soul purpose rather than the mind that has too much to say.
Did you want to talk a little bit about the positive affirmations now, Danielle, or did you want to move on to the?
We can.
Yeah, you want to do the positive affirmations? Yeah. The reason I mentioned this part is because I found that, as one of our teachers told us, that the words we say, the words we speak, they have power. So the affirmations are actually very important. So tell us about that.
100%. So what is really important, of course, it's important to have these mantras and positive affirmations, but what we must all realize is that everything we say is an affirmation, whether it be positive or negative. So if you have a habit of saying, I can't do that, or I can't afford to do that, switch that and make an inquiry and say, how can I do this? Or how can I do that? What can I do to get to point B? Make the inquiry within yourself, because anything is possible. Really, anything is possible. We just have to open our minds and not be so limited in our thinking. So remember, when you say I can't or I don't, this is an affirmation, and it's a negative affirmation, which will prevent you from getting to where you want to go. So, if you can't make it a positive one, make it an inquiry, and this opens up the mind to more greater things. So speaking of positive affirmations, we're going to go through our chakra system, which are our 7 power centers in our body. And also we have the Earth Star, which grounds us to the earth, because we are indeed spirit in human form. So we are of this earth, but we are also connected to the cosmos, because we are all star beings as well. So if you would all like to join me, we can activate these power centers by chanting 9 ums together. Would you like to do that? Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So we will go, fabulous. We will go through the chakras first, and then we will sound our 9 ums together. So we have our root chakra, which is at the base of our spine. And this is to do with safety and security, can often involve financial concerns and worries. So your positive affirmations for your root chakra, and you do have to start at the root chakra. You can just jump straight to the crown chakra and be ascended and light and enlightened and all that stuff. You have to work from the bottom upwards. So the root chakra affirmations: I am safe. I am secure. I am grounded. And then moving up to our second chakra is our sacral chakra. And this is between the pubic area and the belly button. And our 3 positive affirmations for our sacral chakra are: I am abundant. I am creative. All is well. And what's really, really important, when you repeat these to yourself, I want you to really, really feel it. It's no good just saying, I am safe, I'm secure, I'm grounded. You need to really affirm that these qualities live inside you, because they do, all of them. No matter how you're feeling, they are all there available for you when you connect to them.
So Danielle, can we actually do these together? Can we chant them with you after you repeat it? After you say it, we'll repeat it after you.
So I'll go through them all first, and then we will activate them by sounding the ums. Is that okay?
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
I mean, please feel free to say them. When I say it, please do a call and response. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So we have our third chakra, which is in just below the, I can't remember the name of the bone, but where our rib cage ends in the middle, our solar plexus area. And this area is all to do with worthiness. So our first affirmation is, I am worthy. Please feel free to repeat. I am confident. I am powerful. And then we move up to the heart chakra, which is the breastbone. So in the center here, not the actual physical heart, but the heart center space. It's right in the center of your chest. And this is obviously all to do with love and acceptance. So our positive affirmations are, I am love. I accept myself. I am compassionate. And remember that compassion is for yourself first and foremost. These are all for yourself. You don't think about other people, they are for you. Next, we move up to the throat chakra. And this obviously is all to do with communication. And communication is not just talking, but it's listening as well. It takes a lot of practice to be a good listener as well as a good speaker. So our affirmations are, my voice matters. My voice is strong. I speak my truth. And then our sixth chakra is our third eye chakra, and this is between our eyebrows. And our affirmations are, I see through all illusion. I trust my intuition. I am guided by spirit. And then our seventh is our crown chakra, which is at the top of our head. And our affirmations are, I am at peace. I am light. I am divine. So they are our 7 chakras. And if you would like to put your hands into Chin Mudra, this is how we hold our hands usually when we do this unifying of our energies, basically. So this finger is the finger of the ego, and it does a lot of pointing and blaming others for situations in our own lives. And actually, this is, blaming other people is so disempowering. What we need to do is come back to ourselves, be empowered, and know how we for us. So the thumb is of the higher self, and this chin mudra is about the higher self subjugating the lower self, the ego self. So we can hold our 3 fingers flat, straight out, and bring our finger and our thumb together. And we can close our eyes, go within, and we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to sound 9 divine ums together. So breathing in. Uh, one more. So they are the 9 divine for the 7 chakras, as well as our earth star that grounds us to this earth, and our soul star that connects us to the universe, the cosmos, and all that we are. And even if you just did this every morning, I'm sure you would notice the shift in your energy.
Danielle, could you share a little bit where the Om comes from? What does that sound mean?
The
Sorry, dear, your video.
And it's
sorry, dear, your video.
no problem. Sorry, can you hear me better now?
Yes, this is good. Yeah.
Okay. So the is the primordial sound of the universe and the vibration within us, and it's a sign, a signifier to the universe that we are connecting with all that is, because all that is lives within us. We are the universe is us. Some people, call it God, some people call it the universe, some people call it divine power. Essentially, it's all the same thing. It is just the power that is in us and around us. We are connected, and it just lets the universe and ourselves, our inner selves, our higher selves know that we are ready to connect with who we truly are. And also on a physical level, the vibration actually activates what's called the vagus nerve, and this has a great deal of healing powers. And there's also something called Brahma breathing as well, which is all about the vibration within our bodies. So the Om sound and the Hum sound in the Brahma breathing, it all activates the vagus nerve, which has a healing and a calming effect on our nervous systems. So we're able to go about our day without emitting this negative, frenetic energy that, of course, impacts others and draws more negative energy back in towards us. So this is called the toroidal field, and the greatest power comes from the heart. So whatever we put out, be they words, our feelings, our vibrations, they all come straight back to us. So it's super important to be conscious about our feelings and our thoughts. While people may not be able to read our minds, they can sense our feelings.
Thank you, Danielle. And I think with that, we're going to start a short visualization, which I'm going to help lead the group into. So we're going to put on some music, which is 528. This is just some music that I have from, it's actually available on YouTube, and it's the 528 hertz vibration, which is also the love vibration. And as Danielle mentioned, this is the most powerful force of energy in the universe, is that of love. And let's see here. Oh, so quick question for Danny is, how do we finish the meditation? After how do we finish the Om, right? Angela, is that what you're asking?
Yes. We just chant or sound the 9 ums, and this is the end. You can bring your palms together. Thank the universe, thank your higher self, thank your inner child, thank the north, south, east, or west, thank your ascended masters, your ancestors, thank whoever you like. But yeah, gratitude obviously also has a very high vibration. So to thank people at every opportunity is a great practice too.
So when you see sometimes people in the meditation centers, when we go like this, we put our palms together, and then Danny and I, we might say namaste, namaste. Do you want to share what that means, Danny?
So the right palm and the left palm just signifies fire and water of the elements. So again, we have everything within us. So it's bringing the fire and the water together, the masculine and the feminine, which again, the feminine and the masculine lives with all of us. So it's about unification. And the namaste, there is a much more lengthy version, but in essence, it means the highest in me sees and respects the highest in you. So it's much more than a hello. It's, you know, a really a divine connection that sees through so much more than our human eyes can see, and it's a real respectful greeting.
Yeah. Thank you, Danny. So,
thank you, Margaret.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay, so now we're going to put on the 528 hertz music, which is the love vibration. This is a very calming sound, a very calming tone. And I actually do this with my children. When my children cannot sleep, my children meditate as well. And it was part of their therapy to calm them down because they were quite hyperactive when they were younger. So we have 528 hertz now, and I'm going to take you through a little bit of a visualization. So I'm going to ask everybody to close their eyes. You can turn off your cameras if you like. So everybody could close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together, starting now. So we breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And in and out. Now imagine yourself, you're in a beautiful place. You are in a beautiful place. You're in a warm and sandy beach. The sun is shining up above you, and the sand is warm beneath your feet, beneath your toes. You're walking along the beach, and all your favorite people are there. Your family, your friends, everybody you love is here on the beach, and you're walking along the beach now. Take a deep breath in and out. In your heart, you feel so grateful that you are in this place, and you feel so relaxed. You feel so happy to be here. You notice that there's been something that's on your mind lately, something that you've been thinking about. It could be a relationship. It could be something to do with work, could be a financial situation. It could be a health situation. Sorry, Mel, we can turn it down just a tiny, tiny bit. Thanks, Mel. Thank you. So you're thinking of, you've got something that's been on your mind lately, and you have been thinking about it. But right now you feel so relaxed to be on this beautiful warm beach, and you're walking along, and you decide to sit down on the beach in the warm sand, the warm sunshine on your face and shining on your body. You can see the crystal blue water in front of you in the ocean. There are birds in the sky. It's so beautiful. You're so happy to be here. And when you're sitting down, you find that there is a bottle. There's a bottle next to you. And in the bottle, there's a piece of paper. And when you pick it up and you're wondering what's inside, you decide to shake the bottle so that the piece of paper falls out. And you think, this could be one of the solutions to the concern that's been on my mind. I wonder what it is. So you shake the bottle, the piece of paper falls out. You unravel the paper and you read the paper. And in your mind, you can read it to yourself. What does it say on this piece of paper? So on this piece of paper, you feel that this information is actually, there's a reason for it to be there. And the information is seeking to come to you, is actually coming from you. And you take this information, you put it in your pocket, and you continue down the beach. You feel so happy and so grateful. It's such a gorgeous day out. There's a slight breeze blowing against your skin. The sunshine feels so warm and so gorgeous. And you're so happy to be here. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Thank you, Mel. That was great. Thank you. So you can open your eyes, come back to the room. You might want to shake yourself out a little bit. Get yourself out of your dream state. And that was a really great example of getting into the yin. We're all made up of the yin and the yang. The yang is our masculine side, is very results oriented. Most city people will have a very strong yang. And we've tapped a little bit into the yin. So that's your creativity, your imagination, your visualization techniques. When I do this with the children, they love it. They love it every single night. And then they slowly drift off to sleep. We do the walk on the beach with their friends. And we do it all in their mind. And they love it. So any other questions right now? I'm mindful we are on the hour. Any other tips from Danny before we sign off if there are no questions?
I would just say really trust yourself. You really do have all the power and all the answers within you. So I made what some people would define as a rash decision at the beginning of this year after I returned from Australia, where I was working with my breathwork teacher at the Woodford Festival. And I received a message while I was on the plane, staring into the clouds. you were ready for a change. And so I quit my job, and I didn't have another job to start at that point. You know, like Meg said earlier, there's been a lot of tumultuous energy around this time, and I quit my job, and I've also moved house. I've now got the ocean to my right and the mountains to the left, and these were both intuitive decisions that I've made. And you know, I don't know why. I mean, it's beautiful to live here, but it's my soul that guided me to do that. It wasn't the mind. I've never lived by myself before. Quitting a job without going to another one, of course, these are, you know, would evoke fear in many people, but I decided to trust my intuition and just go with it. And so far it feels great. So trust your intuition. It's there for a reason. And it's your higher self. It knows better than your mind knows.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for leading us through the breath work today, and also your story, and also really, you know, the science behind the intuition and the breath work and our higher spiritual selves. Thank you for that today.
Thank you so much.
I would encourage everyone, if you don't have a regular meditation practice, really to start doing it. It really is an amazing superpower. And for myself, I use the meditation every single day. We have a very sort of fast-moving business as an agency. We work with many top brands around the world. We're a global agency now with a growing team. And I find that, you know, our practical technical skills, of course, these are very important. Our marketing skills, our business skills, how we help brands to grow their profits, grow their revenues. These skills, of course, are very important. But sometimes when we're faced with, you know, decisions that we need to make, you know, who do we hire? How do we expand? Which markets do we expand in first? I find that in my job, I need to make decisions very quickly. And those are quite critical decisions. And I find that with the meditation and the intuition and the breath work, it really helps to speed up my business skills in decision making. So especially now during COVID, there's so much uncertainty in the world. You know, every decision that we make, you know, financially, you know, relationships, business-wise, it could be quite a critical decision because the stakes are higher now. There's a lot more risk in the world right now with regards to, you know, the future of work. So if you're able to start leveraging this, you know, really the power of intuition, I do feel that your business and your personal life would be very, very successful. So please, we're going to put this onto YouTube again, probably in about 3 days' time. So when it goes live on YouTube, feel free to watch it again. We'll probably put some subtitles as well, so it's easier to listen to. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. If you have children, you know, this is a great tool to use with kids. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Don't be afraid of the future. I think one of the best things you can do is really to embrace it. It's those people that are really brave and courageous and willing to do things which are a little bit unusual. Innovative, creative people. These are the ones that are really going to survive and to thrive in the next century. So this is really a time of opportunity. So you can think of it that way. Mm-hmm. With that, I'm going to leave you all with a quote. Thank you for staying us right through to the end. I'll leave you with a quote today, and this is from Albert Einstein. The most beautiful thing that we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. So everyone, thank you for today. I wish you a wonderful evening, a wonderful day. Thank you to Danielle Batley. Please connect with her on Instagram. Breath of Bliss with Danny B on Instagram and on Facebook. And we will send out the links and also the music. Everything that you heard today will be on the links as well when it goes live on YouTube. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Wishing you all a beautiful week. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.